Alright. Hopefully the lighting is decent in this video. I really need to get myself a better setup for recording videos. Record videos in my car because I'm highly familiar with it. That's how I started my channel. And it's one of the places where I can actually get some time alone. I'm at the house, I'm often distracted, the phone rings, people need me. So if the lighting's not spot on in here, I recorded a 45-minute video last night, and then when I went to upload it, only like my chin was lit up. Everything else was dark. I'm still going to upload that video though, but this channel is more about the message than the appearance of the message, although I do completely understand the importance of good lighting and whatnot. But I'm going to light an incense in honor of the awakening of Kundalini on a global scale. I talk about Kundalini often because it's the it's the evolutionary energy in mankind that will bridge his consciousness with the truth. Not only his consciousness, but his biology, his or her, humankind. So we're going to light this one in honor of the awakening of Kundalini and also the healing of the biosphere. The liberation of animals that are being murdered via genocide. If you focus on an image of a better world in your mind, you start using a form of mental magic to align the consciousness with that becoming true. The mind is very powerful, ladies and gentlemen. We need to use it more often. We need to use our mental creativity, our visionary skills. So, if you're interested, maybe you could go light a candle in honor of a better world, or light an incense with me, or maybe say a silent prayer. Regardless of your religion or whatever you believe, tap into that power and envision a greater world. Because this is a joke out here, ladies and gentlemen. Things exist out here like this because they need to be improved. This is not the type of work that you'd see on the resume of a supreme being. No. We live in a hellish realm where people are suffering, animals are suffering, the biosphere is suffering, the trees, the ecosystem, you name it. So, I'm not going to sit around and just waste my time not trying to help the greater totality of the collective entity of humankind. The ego wants you to think that life is all about you and your pleasure and your comfort. We're never really going to be able to cross the river until we all work together. I like to think of it that way. So, but I like to light incense while I say little prayers and stuff to the higher energies and you name it out here. So I'm not trying to get too new agey on you people, but let's just position this incense right here in the ashtray and let it burn while we make this video. But again, the ego is a very dangerous thing, ladies and gentlemen. The ego, to a large extent, is actually the compass, the way that we navigate through this material matrix, the land of the illusion, the land of the Maya. The ego, the subconscious mind, knows that we live in a absolutely insane, hellish realm. But the ego is like the comfort system. It's the survival system that actually kind of dummies down your awareness and kind of blinds you from the truth so that you feel comfortable living in this crazy world. So the dissolution, the dissolving of the ego is going to be a huge and very important factor for humankind's ability to actually progress past the stage that we're currently in. So, I see so much hate out here. I see so much miscommunication out here. I see so much confusion out here in the material realm. But it exists in the mind, essentially. Even though this is what appears to be a material world, it's a mental world. And I like the idea that if people want to see change in the world, don't you think, let's put it this way, if you wanted to see change in the world and you hadn't applied the changes that you want to see in the world to yourself, wouldn't it make sense to first apply those principles to yourself and modulate and augment your lifestyle so that you can kind of resonate and be a reflection of what it is you want to see in life? in the material world. So having morals, having good quality, how would I say it? Having integrity. Integrity to a large extent is when you do the right thing when no one's watching. It's very easy to do the wrong thing when no one's watching. So having integrity, having morals, having good quality standards. What happened out here where we lost these things? I am not saying that people don't have morals and whatnot, but I mean, come on. This is getting ridiculous out here, ladies and gentlemen. This is getting ridiculous. They've taken this beautiful gem of a dimension and turned it into this concrete jungle, which is saturated with electromagnetic pollution, animal murder, genocide going on. Millions and millions and millions of animals every year are being ground up and murdered so that unconscious, half-witted, useful idiots can shuffle around this matrix thinking that they're consuming something that's good for them when it's destroying your health, full of antibiotics, hormones, vaccines, ractopamine, drug residues. A lot of these meats, ladies and gentlemen, I've said this in previous videos, I'm going to repeat it again. A lot of the meat that you're eating, the factory farmed garbage, if it's not killed and slaughtered by a particular date, those animals will actually die because they have tumors, cancers, physiological ailments. They're sick. Their immunity's low. You name it. So they have to actually kill them by a particular date because if they die from those diseases and whatnot, they can't legally sell them for consumption, although I'm pretty sure they still do. If you could actually look at the insanity of the food system, the food supply, it's a joke. If you look at the FDA recalls, it's a joke. It's amazing. Finding glass in food, they found bat wings. No joke, you can look this up. They found bat wings in a particular salad brand not too long ago. Like, how the hell does a bat wing get in a thing of salad? Are you making salads? Is your salad factory inside of a bat cave? You got to ask yourself, what's really going on? What are they slipping in the food supply? If they can have a bat wing or a bat body part just miraculously show up in some salad greens, what else is going on? What are they putting in the food supply? I mean, they're already putting enough crap in there, ladies and gentlemen. They're already putting in excitotoxins, neurotoxins, chemical additives that'll stunt your growth, both physically, biologically, spiritually, you name it. They're sterilizing you. The only way you're really going to be able to understand that is if you get some of your clarity back by not only wanting to get some of your clarity back, but by actually participating in the dance of health. Health and opening your mind go hand in hand. Without a healthy biology, ladies and gentlemen, without a healthy physiology, how is your mind going to be open to all these, to be able to having your blinders opened up a little bit? Quality food causes the mind and the body to grow, not just the body. So, real food nourishes, it cleanses, it soothes the tissues, rejuvenates the cells, cleans the blood, liberates the lymphatic system, enhances cognition, stimulates neuronal growth, you name it. So food by definition is something that nourishes, and how can many of the foods on the market even be called food when they don't even nourish? Probably a lot of smoke in the camera right now, so we'll hold this. But how can the food on the market that's not food, it's foodstuffs, it's byproducts, it's garbage, it's chemical-laden crap, it's processed, manipulated foods, genetically engineered, crossbred, hybridized, demineralized, enzyme-depleted, you name it. How can that be called food when food is something that nourishes, food that is something that helps heal, food with nutrition in it? People really don't know what food is here in the Matrix, the majority of them, especially in the West. People are eating out of freezers. They're eating a lot of processed food, stuff in boxes, stuff with preservatives in it. Now, if you think this is just all a joke and that this doesn't have any effect on your health, both of your mind and your body, then keep eating it. And trust me, plenty of people will. Most people don't care about the quality of food that they're eating because, for one, it's easier to live in a state of complacency and be a pawn for the system that this crazy world wants you to be. It's easier to not question things. It's easier to go along with the herd. And it requires research to actually understand what it is you're putting onto your plate and into your mouth. So when you're so caught up with the stress of the day, when you've got an 8-hour job, when you've got to do all this stuff and conform to all this stuff in this crazy world, many people just don't have the energy or the time to actually do some research. Even if they cared enough, they would. But many people, their blinders are so shut that they aren't even aware of what's going on, the genetic warfare that's taking place within their biology when they eat this food, this garbage food, ladies and gentlemen. So luckily things are becoming a little bit more commonplace within, the communities and internet circles where people are asking questions. People are starting to care more about the foods that they're eating. Now, many people will equate this to the ending of the Piscean Age and the beginning of the Aquarian Age. I try to stay away from all that New Age stuff. But within the Aquarian Age, it's said that everything that is hidden will be revealed. Whereas the Piscean Age has a lot to do with control and things of that nature. A lot of things that are quite hellish. But anyways, you guys, just sitting here, I like to do this often. I like to envision a better world when I light candles or when I just do something as simple as light an incense. The act of trying, the act of envisioning, the act of being creative is a form of tapping into a form of mental imagery that can have an effect on the entire collective consciousness. It sounds crazy, but we've been shuttered away from the power of our imagination, the power of our mind. So, there's so many control mechanisms here taking place. We've got the aerosol sprays, we've got the bad food, we've got the bad water, we've got the bad programming, and they use a lot of subconscious symbols to actually keep our subconscious mind at bay and under control. The subconscious mind understands symbology, even though your conscious mind isn't aware of the fact that it does. So when they use symbols through the media, you name it, they can get into your subconscious mind and plant seeds in the fertile area, the fertile ground of your subconscious mind, and you're not even aware of it. Those seeds take root, they start sprouting, and now you've got all these programs germinating in your mind, even though you're not aware of it. And this usually takes place in childhood, ladies and gentlemen. It happens most exponentially when you're young. Exposure to all of the insane television programs, the kids programs, they are using symbology and color and phrases and suggestive archetypal imagery to get into your mind, into your subconscious mind through symbolism and ritualistic usage of different words in music, you name it. It sounds crazy, but if you think I sound crazy, it's probably because you haven't done enough research on the subject. Philip Cooper goes really deep into the understanding the subconscious mind in his books, that most of them are out of print currently. But I'll talk about those books in the future. But there's so many books on the subconscious mind. It's amazing how much stuff is in there that is affecting our conscious life that we aren't even aware of. The more I research it, the more I'm just dumbfounded. It's a fascinating facet of research. But I mean, if you go back, ladies and gentlemen, the cool thing about YouTube is that as an adult, you can get on there, and there's people that have actually found a lot of the old television programs that we watched when we were younger, because they're not on TV often anymore, unless it's like Dragon Ball Z, things like that. If you go on YouTube and you type in your favorite old cartoons and children's programs, chances are someone's uploaded videos. I want you to go in there and study some of those. Go in and look at what's going on the television screen, or the computer screen, excuse me. It's amazing how, as an adult, you pick up so many things that you didn't notice as a child. And a lot of these television programs are downright creepy. Downright creepy. The stuff that they're talking about, the way that even the figures, even like I'm not going to name any of them because these videos are monetized. But just go back and look at some of these children's programs, and I even like to, ladies and gentlemen, I like to study every once in a while because I do enjoy studying the mind control and the different methods, MK Ultra, all that stuff. I like to look at what's being put on the TV now. Now, I don't have a TV, so I don't watch television. But you bet I go onto YouTube and I look up children's programs that are currently playing. Even a lot of the stuff for young adults, kids under 13 to 18, they're hitting us hard with the symbology, ladies and gentlemen. And in order for you to understand that, you've got to study symbology. And that's why I recommended Philip Cooper's books. There's tons of stuff on the power of symbology. If you go into Amazon.com, I mean, start studying. Studying is the greatest way to actually, in order for us to understand what's really going on, we have to open our mind to concepts that are outside of our conscious recognition. If you're currently in a state of, I mean, many people just aren't aware that this stuff's going on, is what I'm getting at. And unless we understand what's going on, how are we going to realize that it's even happening? But the power of the question, it's the question that drives us, like Trinity says to Neo in the Matrix, the first one. It's the question that drives us, wanting to uncover the truth. Questioning is one of the most powerful human virtues that we have access to. The fact that we can contemplate the nature of things, that we can even question things, is a divine gift, but we don't use it. Asking questions is not evil. The church and many other organizations do not want you to ask questions, especially the medical church of Pharmacopoeia. I'm going to break down the roots of all that in an upcoming video. The medical church, ladies and gentlemen. But asking questions is the greatest way to receive answers, isn't it? How do you get an answer unless you ask a question? But you're the one who can answer the questions. You just have to ask them. You have to have a drive to want to uncover the truth. Why don't people want to know what's going on here in this crazy world? Do we not care about ourselves anymore? Is that the type of culture that we are? If that's the case, I don't want to be any part of that. I will be a recluse. I'll do my own damn thing, which is currently what I do, basically. If I'm not learning, I'm not living. I do not like wasting my time here in the Matrix anymore. I spent the first half of my life doing that. There's nothing more stimulating and engrossing and beautiful than the pursuit of knowledge and the pursuit of wisdom, because wisdom and knowledge are completely different. The pursuit of wisdom. The bigger your scope of what's going on here in this reality is, the more you can align yourself with the life that you truly want. Unless you want to live a life that's been the life that's been laid out for you, basically, by the Matrix, the Maya, the land of illusion. So, I mean, it just blows my mind. Just contemplating the fact that we as humans have the ability to question things. And then seeing that we often don't ask questions. Automatic belief of things is very dangerous. Excuse me. Belief can be very dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. Belief can work in favor for us, or it can work against us. But we've adopted a lot of beliefs, even though we don't know the foundation of the philosophies behind the beliefs that we've adopted. Especially within the mind. The subconscious mind has been terraformed. The subconscious mind is the part of the mind that is unacknowledged by the conscious mind. It's what lies behind the curtains. But it's always there. It's always processing. It's always analyzing data. It's ingenious. Check the time. I'm going to get going here in a few, ladies and gentlemen. But I love being a researcher in today's world, because there's so much. This is just fertile as hell out here. The stuff that you can research, the stuff that you can uncover, the secrets. The very fact that I like to talk about Kundalini, ladies and gentlemen, because Kundalini, It's my primary form of study because it allows you to, and if it can raise to the point where it gets in the queen and king's chamber of the brain, it allows you to light the lamp of God. You can actually see reality for what it was designed to be. You can actually exist. You can actually feel what it's like to be alive. We are literally so close to, we are operating at such a low level that we're in a state that resembles sleep. Kundalini takes you out of that sleep. But I love being a researcher. I've got a bag. I'm on an adventure in life. I have fun doing this stuff. I like to approach things with that childlike mentality, that innocent mentality. I'm on a mission. I'm on an adventure to uncover the truth, to try to reawaken the sleeping serpent, the Kundalini, which is what all these mythologies are about, which is what, even if you watch like Jason and the Argonauts, the 1960s version, you watch Clash of the Titans, 1981, you watch Excalibur, excuse me, there is so much Kundalini symbolism, not only in ancient cultures, mythology, but in movies. I love to uncover movies. I got a bag right here. I got full of movies to decode. Primarily the old movies. Those are the best. But just tons of books in here. Tons of notebooks and notes. It's the pursuit of wisdom that drives me. It's what motivates me to ask questions, and I love trying to uncover the answers to the questions I have. But, I mean, become a researcher. Research what you want to learn, not what the Matrix wants you to learn, unless that's your thing. I mean, if you want to live that lifestyle, free will, that's cool. If you want to be a lawyer or this and that, if you want to be a mathematician, if you want to go to school to be a historian, go for it. I'm not judging people. I'm just saying that I've gone down the school avenue, junior college, high school, you name it. I've studied their curriculum. It's just boring to me. There's nothing interesting. They're not talking about things that really actually matter, in my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion. They're giving you curriculum. I mean, have you ever wondered when you go to school, college, who actually was responsible for funding the production of the books you're using? Who wrote those? What were they like? What was their life situation? What was their intention? Why did they write those books in the way that they did? Are they honest? Are they truthful? Or are they filled with a bunch of untruths? We're just accepting curriculum as if it's the truth from these schools and believing it as if it's the exact truth. That's dangerous. Automatic belief is a very destructive thing. It can be. Because chances are, 9 times out of 10, you're believing in things that you don't actually understand. And when you believe in things that you don't actually understand the foundation of, it's a con on your consciousness. It's a con on your mind. And now you're believing in things that you don't have a firm footing in and you don't really understand. But you just believe them. Excuse me. I'm going to roll the window down. Let's light this incense one more time. And then we'll wrap this video up. Again, I hope that my videos and my channel can help inspire you to do a little bit of thinking, a little bit of digging, and I hope that it can inspire you to get healthy. One thing I noticed, you guys, is that when I started taking care of my health, I started to see things around me that were previously I struggled to see. I struggled to see the insanity of this matrix. I struggled to see what was really going on. I was happily eating steak every day, chicken every day, pork every day, fish every day, garbage every day, and I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. But once you start taking care of your health, when you start nourishing your brain, when you start getting more magnesium and selenium, when you start putting more natural B12 into your system, when you start nourishing your kidneys, your liver, you name it, when you start cleaning your lymphatic system, when you start ingesting more herbs, if they're the right herbs, clean water, you name it, you can reach a state of clarity where your body becomes clear now, and therefore the mind becomes clear, and you can start decoding things with more precision, in a much more precise manner. Excuse me, this incense blown in my mouth. But on behalf of a greater world, on behalf of people removing their blinders, on behalf of you achieving greater health, on behalf of you having a better life, peace be with you all. While you have your eyes closed and you're receiving the sunlight, as you're standing barefoot, Got to look at diet, you've got to look at water. The water people are drinking here in the Matrix, the tap water, is filled full of disinfectant byproducts, cancer-causing agents, fluoride, hydrofluorosilicic acid, hexafluorosilicic acid, pipe residues, inorganic compounds, scaling lime, algicides, cobalts, radioactive constituents, plutonium, parasites. Of some of the wastes that are stuck inside of the colonic walls in the lower bowel. So certain eye muscle exercises where you move your eyes in certain direct current energy. So walking barefoot is one of the pinnacle aspects, other than things like collecting rainwater. We can be our own farmers and grow a lot of our own food, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have to resort to buying murdered animals from corrupt organizations and things of that nature. We don't have to consume these foods to have a healthy lifestyle. My health has gone nowhere but up since I became a vegan. Authentic Kundalini awakenings actually stimulate dormant parts of your brain and your physiology, your spinal system, your cerebrospinal fluid, you name it. And when that happens, it just enlightens the gland. The goji berries in it and the Schisandra. But I also talk later on in this video about how damaging constituents, and these constituents are known as accumulative poisons. They accumulate over time and they get lodged in your tissues. They get lodged in your kidneys, your liver, you name it.